ABC 12 News at 6. Next.
Your voice, your vote. And tonight, the home stretch, our team coverage follows GOP contenders as they round Michigan for last-minute votes. And a shocking security breach leaves 2 Americans dead, while many believe the killer had inside help. Plus, he was missing for several days, but tonight, he's safe. Good evening. I'm Angela Brown. ABC 12 News at 6 starts right now.
This is your trusted source. ABC 12 News at 6.
I know what it takes to create jobs, and I want to get Michigan working again. I want to get America working again.
And Mitt Romney was back in his home state today fighting to win over voters in Flint before Tuesday's primary. Michigan's primary is becoming a must-win for Romney. For weeks, he's been down in the polls, trailing Rick Santorum. A loss in his home state could be a game changer. Romney was at Kettering University. ABC 12 Ted Fioraliso talked to him one-on-one. So, Ted, what's Romney's strategy over the next 3 days?
Well, Angela, it includes a lot of what he was doing all day today, and that's meeting the voters. The rally at Kettering University was his 3rd stop of the day after similar events in Lansing and Troy. I sat down with Romney on his campaign bus before his speech, and he says he's feeling a lot of positive momentum.
Now through Tuesday, I'm going to keep going across the state, shaking as many hands as I can, going to rallies, going to various meetings, and then I'm taking a bit of a break to run down to Florida, go to the Daytona 500. I'm a car guy after all, and I like seeing those cars in a race, but then I'll race back and get to Traverse City tomorrow night.
Busy man. After our interview, Romney took the stage inside Kettering's Recreation Center. His wife, Ann, joined him. Now, her father graduated from the college in 1938 when it was the General Motors Institute of Technology. The Romneys spent the first few minutes talking about their Michigan roots and how they met each other back when they were kids. They said it breaks their hearts to see what's happened to the Flint area and to see people struggling here. Kettering also hosted then Senator Obama 4 years ago, and Romney says Obama made a lot of promises that day that he's failed to follow through on. Romney says the president has doubled the deficit and pointed to a giant national debt calculator that he had on stage.
We're going to hit the wall like Greece did unless we have a president that knows how to cut back, live within our means, and get the economy growing again.
I'll have much more on Romney's campaign stop in Flint, as well as reaction from supporters who were there in the crowd, coming up tonight at 11. In the studio, Ted Fioraliso, ABC 12 News.
All right, Ted. Also in mid-Michigan today was Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul. Most polls have him 3rd in the race to win Michigan, but his supporters have been excited. ABC 12's Rebecca Trilch continues our Vote 2012 team coverage tonight. She joins us live from Mount Pleasant. Rebecca, I know the event just started, but how big is the crowd there? I see some folks, a lot of folks behind you.
Well, Angela, it is a full house here at Plachta Auditorium on the campus of Central Michigan University. Roughly 1,200 students are here filling all of these seats that you see behind me. Now, as you can see right now, we are still waiting for Senator Ron Paul to take the stage. Someone else is speaking right now prior to him. Most of the people packed in here to see Paul speak are students. Others are community members. They all had to sign up for a voucher online ahead of time. And as you can see, they spent a little while in the hallway of Warner Hall waiting to snag a good seat. Some spent a few hours just waiting in line. Many of the people we spoke with are Ron Paul supporters. Others are undecided and are hoping to hear something today that will sway their minds one way or the other. CMU students are pretty excited that Senator Paul decided to make one of his limited campaign stops in Michigan here in Mount Pleasant.
I'm hoping just to see if he says anything different, because the national media doesn't really give him much exposure, so I'm trying to see if there's anything different that he's saying here in person than on in the media.
You can definitely see groups polarizing. I mean, some are really in support of him and some are not, and I've seen more political signs here than I've seen in a while, so it's pretty cool.
Kind of undecided, but I really am leaning towards Ron Paul. He's definitely got a lot of good ideas, and I'm kind of sick of like the regular conservative views, and I don't know, I don't really have faith in Mitt Romney or any of the other ones.
Now, as you can see, we are still waiting for Senator Paul to take the stage here at Central Michigan University. A lot of people anticipating what he has to say from here. Paul only has a few other stops in Michigan, including Hudsonville, Detroit, and at Michigan State University. We'll have a complete wrap-up of Senator Paul's speech coming up tonight on ABC 12 News at 11. For now, we're live in Mount Pleasant. Rebecca Trilch, ABC 12 News.
And thanks, Rebecca. Rick Santorum also spent part of his day in the mitten, and he's not easing up on attacks against Mitt Romney. During a stop today in St. Clair Shores, Santorum ripped into the former Massachusetts governor for his role in implementing a statewide health care plan.
It is great to be here. It's laughable for Governor Romney to suggest that I am not a conservative. It is absolutely laughable to have a liberal government of Massachusetts suggest that I am not the conservative in this race.
Santorum's team says he will be in mid-Michigan tomorrow night, speaking at an event hall in Davison. And be sure to stay right here for all of your Vote 2012 election coverage. ABC 12 will be your trusted source throughout the entire election season, on air and online at abc12.com. The presidential race isn't the only thing heating up in mid-Michigan. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday it was snowing and the roads were slick. Today we saw the sun. Kevin joins us from the First Alert HD Weather Center with your forecast. Kevin.
Angela, good evening, everyone. We're going to continue to see more sunshine for both Sunday and Monday, but in the meantime, a little blanket of clouds moving back in, but those clouds are our friends, especially if they stick around overnight. Let's go ahead now and show you our Holly Sky Cam, and there it is with I-75 nice and dry. ABC 12 First Alert HD Doppler radar continuing to show just a smattering of snow showers and flurries in the northern parts of the state and the western side, lake-sensitive areas with temperatures right now 31 Saginaw, 30 in Flint. Pinpoint predictor calling for temperatures to bounce around as our wind dies down to near calm, so that could promote some temperatures with the fresh snow cover, maybe in some upper single digits by 6 in the morning, 10 in Carroll, 15 in Flushing, and then temperatures rise nicely as we pick up a stiff southerly wind into the mid and upper 30s. So here's a look at your forecast and what we can expect. A quiet end to the weekend, but then some changes are coming midweek. Rain, snow, I'll detail it all coming up in just a few minutes.
New at 6, we're learning more tonight from Afghanistan, where 2 U.S. military officers were assassinated in a shocking security breach. It happened inside of a heavily guarded government building where Americans were supposed to be safe. The killer who escaped seems to have had some sort of inside help. ABC's Mohammed Leela reports from Kabul that this could badly damage the war effort.
There is no question that today's deadly turn of events certainly raises the stakes in what's already a very volatile situation here. The shooting happened inside Afghanistan's Ministry of the Interior building. The gunman walked right in and shot 2 U.S. soldiers, a colonel and a major, at point-blank range.
An individual, and we haven't gotten an identification yet, pulled his weapon and opened fire on 2 soldiers of the International Security Assistance Force, killing them both.
The Taliban were quick to claim responsibility for the attack, saying that it was in response to the Quran burning incident at a U.S. military base earlier this week. The Afghans continue to take to the streets in protest. The riots have left nearly 30 people dead and hundreds more injured. The U.S. military insists it was an accidental burning.
We admit our mistake. We ask for forgiveness. We seek to move on.
President Barack Obama has apologized, yet the violence continues. The commander of the U.S.-led NATO forces here, General John Allen, has condemned the attack, and he's also recalled all NATO staff working in Afghan ministries, saying simply it's for their own protection. The U.S. Embassy and many military installations here remain on full lockdown, and with no end to the protests in sight, the situation is expected to only get worse. From Kabul, I'm Mohammed Leela for ABC News.
A missing man from Flint Township is safe tonight after being found this morning. 44-year-old Eric Stroop went missing earlier this week after he left an adult foster care home in the area. A citizen called in a tip after spotting him in Iosco County. He was found inside a cabin in Hale. Stroop will be evaluated in an area hospital and then reunited with his family. She was a contestant on the network TV show The Biggest Loser, and today she returned to her hometown of Flint to inspire others to live a healthier life. Sharita Andrews was just one of many guest speakers at Knowing Better, Doing Better, an event that was held at New Jerusalem Full Gospel Baptist Church for Black History Month. Participants received information about health and other issues.
That our health is very important, that our connectedness in the community is very important, our church community is very important, and it is also important to remember the life and legacy of Bishop Otis A. Floyd.
And the event ran from 11 until 2.
For a better situation for you and the child. You know, Big Brothers and Big Sisters has been at it now for like 67 years.
You got some moves, Kevin. And of course, he's not a professional bowler, neither is Matt Franklin, but the entire ABC 12 crew was definitely having a good time at the 33rd annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Bowling Challenge. Today, the pins were flying all weekend in Grand Blanc Township. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Youth Mentoring Organization. And of course, kudos to you, Kevin, and all the rest of the team for taking part. And still to come on ABC 12 News at 6, with so many families in need of help, a local youth organization volunteers their time to make a difference. Plus, Oscar odds. Find out who the projected favorites are to take home the Golden Statue tomorrow.
You're watching ABC 12 News at 6 with Angela Brown, meteorologist Kevin Goff, and Ryan Slocum with sports. ABC 12 News, your trusted source.